Side out back to Hawaii.
Wendy Rush made a great dig that time as Suzanne Agee really hit the ball hard. Wendy Rush at back right is Stanford's leading digger. Very unusual to have the back right player who doesn't have many balls hit at them lead the team in digs.
Agee off of Rush's shoulder, kept alive by Stanford. Elenecki, long set up to Ahuna. Chance now for Stanford. Jesse with a great dig, almost up to the scoreboard. Sincerova, long one to Elenecki, bangs it. Diving save in the back by Stanford, but it goes under the net, and it's point to Hawaii.
Great set that time by Martina Sincerova. That ball was up above the scoreboard practically, and she took the ball with her hands. Sign of a great setter when they take that high ball with their hands, and Mahina did a super job of putting it away.
And Karen Anderson, a freshman in the game for Stanford, made a great dig in the back for her team. Ball tipped. Here's Sincerova, Ahuna, Agee. Tough set that time. Couldn't do anything with a chance for Stanford. Ball blocked up front as Agee with the roof. Hawaii stretches it out to 12-10.
That's what made her player of the year in the Pac-10. There she is from San Diego, California.
PCAA.
PCAA. Sorry about that. We've got so many. This is Pac-10. This is Big Ten country here.
There's a freshman mistake for you. Karen Anderson trying to move out of the way. Did not move out of the way enough. The ball hit her in the arm. And it's 13-10. And so she comes out, and back into the game is Olesen. That could be a costly mistake, Chris. That ball was out, and she went to move. Just couldn't move quickly enough.
Every point has been so hard-earned. To get one like that is really has got to make Hawaii feel good and Stanford feel terrible.
See if Nancy Reno, who's up front now, can get things going for Stanford. Ball is set up by Stanford. Tough angle, and here's a chance. Elenecki, watch Hawaii put it away. Elenecki, she does it off the blocker. 14-10. Stanford thought it was out, and they said no touch. But our linesman said it was. It's game point, and Don Shaw says, not yet. I'll take a timeout with Hawaii leading 14-10 in game number 1. UC Texas coach Mick Haley and his little baby there, who's our other color commentator. We'll have a word with him later. Hawaii serving game point 14-10. Nancy Reno, but it's kept alive as Jesse hits it over. Reno again. Sincerova. Here comes Hawaii. Can they end game 1? Elenecki saved by Stanford. Dipped over. Saved nicely. Reno. Great reflexes. Reno. Dumped by Agee. Game number 1 goes to Hawaii. 15-10. Suzanne Agee going crazy with the All-American smile. There you see the Honorable Governor John Wahine in our audience tonight. He arrived in Indianapolis at 4 o'clock, gave the team a pregame little pep talk, and came over here and threw some salt on my seat. Feels kind of funky, but it's working so far. Hawaii International Movement Incorporated. Call the pro, Ron Kimura, who has 34 years experience. Hello out there, Ron. For your moving needs, call Ron at 682-2425. That's Hawaii International Movers. We get ready for game number 2, and Chris, a game Stanford needs to take. They need to get back in this thing. They were tight in game 1, and then Hawaii pulls away, winning 15-10.
John, the key in that game was the fact that Hawaii hit only 161. They usually hit around 300. Stanford hits 209. Both teams having a lot of difficulty putting the ball down because both defenses are really fired up. Both teams are blocking better and digging better. Hence, the hitters are really frustrated. So it's going to be whoever is going to be most patient, I think, might win the game tonight.
Two teams on a mission. Only one will have it fulfilled and have a Merry Christmas on volleyball Saturday here in Indianapolis. Diana Jesse slams one into the net. It'll be side out for Stanford.
Great dig that time by Jamie Payette from Kamehameha Schools.
Jamie starting game number 2 in place of Suzanne Agee. Give Agee a little extra rest. Payette starting out in the back row. Ahuna taking charge out there, says, I got it. And she sets up Elenecki, who puts it through the blockers.
Mahina from Sacred Hearts Academy and Kaimaki gets the job done once again with 2 huge blockers up front. Somehow snuck it through.
Now, Payette cannot make the save, and Stanford is on the board. No, I'm sorry, side out. Nancy Reno back to serve now. She serves it long and out. It'll go back over to Hawaii. And back to serve is Mahina. Elenecki playing in her final collegiate game. Ball set up front. Rush to Reno. Reno puts it through the blockers. She has to have a better game too, without doubt.
Big hit by Reno. There she is right there from Glen Ellen, Illinois. She's got some folks here in her hometown state cheering for her. She was voted a few years ago by the Chicago Tribune as the best volleyball player, female volleyball player ever to come out of this state.
Reno hit for a 125 percentage in game one. She's got to do better to get her team back in it here. No score yet, and Stanford takes it back.
That was Teresa Smith that time. She was the Pac-10 Player of the Year last year. Wendy Rush just got voted the Player of the Year this year. Teresa Smith, number 18 there, a real powerhouse. Had a weak game the other night against Texas, but has come back very strong tonight.
Great serve by Rush as Eggy is back in the game for Payette. Hawaii keeps it alive. All set up front, the long set. Smith puts it down on the floor. We have our first point of game number 2. 1-0 Stanford.
Shot by Smith that time, hitting the sharp angle. Suzanne Eggy just did not quite adjust well enough, and here's Rush, second best server for Stanford.
Ball is whipped. Sincerova sets it up. Little miscommunication there. Stanford pulls ahead 2-0, but they've done this before. So Hawaii team very cool and collected. As I say, this team felt they were on a mission after their preseason trip to Japan. This is the culmination of that. There's that tricky Sincerova. I'll fake a set and put it right down on you.
Looked like Martina stole a page from the book of Wendy Rush that time. Very quick dump that time. Well chosen, well-timed play.
Stanford pulling ahead 3-zip. Jesse puts it back down. Point for Hawaii. Don Shaw thought it might have been a carrier, a hold or a slam dunk or something not good, but it counts. It's 1-3. Serve lands out. Back to serve, Teresa Smith. Watch the leap. Alanecki, though, is right there. Jesse, blocked up front. Diving save and a mistake. That was the old I got it, you take it, Chris. That ball just happened to go over right in the middle of the floor where 6 players kind of don't go for it.
That's right. That's what our friend Chris Marlowe calls the campfire defense. Everybody sort of gathers around the campfire and watches it go. And there is a launched satellite. That happens with a jump server once in a while. There she is laughing about it, Teresa Smith. She launched that to about the 5th row in the far end zone.
Might have been a 3-pointer in basketball. It's no good in volleyball. We're at 1-4. Hawaii. Sincerova serving. And a miss hit by Olesen. It's 2-4.
Not to yell through the net. We'll throw it on our side.
Referee Bob Clark instructing Stanford, I believe, not to yell through the net. I don't know what they're yelling. You just kind of get a little verbal warning there. Suzanne Eggy puts it down.
Actually, John, what he was saying, Don Shaw was saying, tell the Hawaii girls not to talk through the net, and we will roll the ball back out to the side. He's negotiating there.
3-4, Hawaii trying to tie it up. Olesen. Eggy roops her. 2-4.
Notice again, John, this is the rotation where Stanford has their 3 All-American seniors in the back row. This is where Hawaii must serve in every time, and it's where Stanford must try to get a side out as quickly as possible.
Back into the game for Amy Hayes is Jenny Chafee. She sets it up. And a shot inside that time by Olesen. It'll be side out. Olesen back to serve as Nancy Reno says, let's go. It's 4-4. Remember, Stanford has been here before. They've been here the last few years. This is a tournament-tested team. Sincerova up front. Jesse blocked. Sincerova, Alanecki, Ahuna. And saved by Stanford. Chance for the Cardinals. Off the blocker. It'll be a point to Stanford. They pull ahead 5-4.
Jenny Chafee, number 7, right there at 6'2", Stanford's tallest player. Had a career high of 14 kills in one match earlier this year. She had 18 against Texas the other night.
T. Williams with the real presence on the court there. Almost went to dig that one and let it go, and it lands out. Side out for Hawaii. Stanford had 3 service errors in that first game. Hawaii had 1. It's a real key factor. It's a real unforced error. There's a block that goes out that time.
All-American set that time by Wendy Rush. Very poor pass by Stanford, and Wendy went back and bumped it up perfectly for the outside hitter who got the side out.
Suzanne Eggy off the net and good. Eggy goes back to serve for Hawaii now.
John Eggy,
4-5.
John Eggy is moving more quickly and with more liveliness and bounce than I've seen her in about a month. She is really fired up for this game.
This is a career game for all these seniors. Chafee off the block, Eggy up front, Sincerova. Elenecki through the blockers, and it's good for Hawaii. There's that magical touch.
She did it with mirrors again, went right through Wendy Rush's hands, and Wendy Rush is a very good blocker. She's got the second best block percentage on the team. Wahine won that battle.
Deadlocked at 5, Asper up front, Rush, Reno, Jesse on the floor makes the save. Ahuna blocked, watch this one now, Elenecki will set it up. T-ball, nice stuff by Nancy Reno, and she has got to come on like that, and the crowd loves that one.
Net violation that time, caught by Bobby Clark. That's a point for Hawaii. Unfortunate play for Stanford that time. They had a good stuff block there.
Perhaps being overly aggressive to make that block. That's probably why it looks so good. She was into the net. So Hawaii pulls ahead 6-5. Set up front. Chafee, Elenecki. Reno hits it over, and T. Williams sends Laura Asper flying and the ball into the third row.
John, that happens at least once a game by that girl right there, T. Williams. She has the T shot, we call it, or the T bomb, or whatever it was. Laura Asper got indoctrinated to that. T. Williams ought to hand out helmets before the game if she's going to hit like that. That's dangerous.
A little bit of TNT. This time Suzanne Eggy going back to serve at 7-5. And a whiff that time. An effort by Wendy Rush. Tries to drop it over, and she can't do it. And Coach Don Shaw calls for the big T, and I don't mean Williams, I mean timeout.
Jenny Chafee with the kill. Substitution, Amy Hayes back into the game.
Back at Indianapolis, and a side out going over to Stanford. Hawaii serving, ball hit back in. Floor needed to be mopped up much less frequently here, of course, than we do in Hawaii. It's very dry air here. Outside, it's wet. It's about 40 degrees, which is a heat wave. We've been down to about 20. 5-8. I know it's wet back home in Honolulu, but I'll take that wet over this wet any day. Side out for Hawaii, 8-5. Hawaii trying to pull away in game number 2. A very poised and confident Hawaii team, getting more poised and more confident as this game goes on. Ball lands out. Teresa Smith hitting long, 9-5. Up front, Smith again. This time she puts it through the blockers. Tamashiro Market has holiday certificates for Dungeness crab and live Maine lobster. Give a gift of 2 live Maine lobsters, lobster bibs, baking potatoes, lemon and lobster recipes for just $30. A great idea. Seafood for Christmas only from Tamashiro Market. Ball set up front, Safford on the serve. Teresa Smith off Ahuna. Great play by Ahuna. Olesen hits it in the open spot, and Stanford gets a point out of that.
John, Hawaii might have lost that point there, but Ahuna is once again becoming the fiery leader that this team needs right now. She comes up with the great digs time and again. She may again be the difference tonight in the match.
T. Williams off the block, hits 2 blockers twice, and they can't do much with it. And Williams gets the side out back for Hawaii. Hawaii leading 9-6. They won the first game